lovely friends, welcome back to Tarot AF. So today, after a long hiatus, I'm so sorry for that. I tried to sit down and film multiple times, but the conditions just always didn't work out for me. For some reason, whatever it was, maybe Spirit was like, you need a break, whatever it is, it didn't work. But I'm back here today and everything seems dandy. So I'm super excited to bring you this reading of Their Unsaid Feelings. So what we're going to do today, we're going to look through tarot cards, oracle cards, and also channeled messages. We're going to see what your person's unsaid feelings are. So hold that person in your mind whilst I'm shuffling. If you've never been to a pick a card reading before, hello and welcome. We have got 4 piles ready and waiting, so you can pick whichever pile you feel intuitively drawn to. It may be the crystal, it may be the deck. Trust that that pile is for you. If it doesn't feel right, if the energy doesn't feel right, you can always see if there's another pile that you were drawn to and maybe didn't go down. And you know, if that one works, then brilliant. But if there's not a message for you, please do not be disheartened. Sometimes it is that case. So just take the energy that resonates with you and leave what doesn't. So speaking about piles, we have pile 1 with the Modern Witchcraft Tarot deck and also the Opalite Penguin. Rep all the penguins out there. We have got the Lunar Soleil Tarot deck and the Flower Agate Cube for pile 2. For pile 3, we've got the Friends TV show tarot deck and the Green Avenger Star. And then for pile 4, we have the Moss Agate Moon with the Oriens Tarot deck. So like I said, you can take a moment, you can pause, you can meditate over it, see which pile is drawing your eye. And what I do is I post the times in the comments section, but also in the information box below, so you can skip ahead there to your reading. I will see you then. Bye. Hello, my glorious friends of pile 1. So if you picked the Opalite Penguin, whoop whoop, this reading is going to be for you, and also the Modern Witch deck as well. I've already shuffled your oracle cards. I'm going to just lay them off to the side whilst we shuffle your deck quickly, and we will get right into this reading for their unsaid feelings. So just hold that person in your mind whilst I'm shuffling these cards. We will give them just a really good shuffle round and get straight into it. Alrighty, so Spirit, for pile 1, what are their person's unsaid feelings? What are pile 1's person's unsaid feelings? So we have got the Knight of Swords firstly. We have got the Lovers. We have got the 4 of Wands. I'm hearing Taylor Swift's Love Story in my head for a reason or another. It's a bop, but that's going round. And that's obviously Romeo and Juliet led, so here we go. We've got the Magician and we've also got the 3 of Pentacles there. Romeo and Juliet, tragedy, but hopefully this one is not in the same way as those star-crossed lovers. Great, lovely. Let's get into your channeled messages. So we've got, life is a series of constantly shifting cycles. When we resist change, we resist the natural flow of life and create unnecessary stress. Go with the flow. You'll be surprised where it leads. We've also got Man Holding a Heart, and there was only supposed to be one of these energies oracles for each pile, but yours both fell out together, and with this victory card over the top of the Man Holding a Heart, I just thought I'll let you guys have it. We've also got opalite, which is so funny because you obviously picked the penguin opalite crystal. Psychic ability, transition, spirituality. I find stability with a clear and open mind. I will go more into that card. I love these new cards that I got, these radiant crystals. They're so interesting and there's so much I want to pick out from them as well, so we'll go into that. We've got reflection, and we've also got love here too. So I want to start with this opalite because I've tantalizingly told you that there's so much I want to go into. So with opalite, we've obviously got psychic ability, transition, spirituality, like I said. It's linked to the astrological sign of Cancer. So potentially there's Cancer placements maybe in your chart or their chart, but also we've got heavy air, so Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, and also Leo, Sagittarius, heavy Leo, Knight of Wands, which is fire sign, so Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, so fire, air, and then maybe Cancer. Don't have to be within your charts, both people's charts, or, you know, it might just be a nice confirmation if there are those energies. But what I thought was really interesting is it said opalite is a man-made glass, and obviously we're talking about reflections here with this reflection card, and it feels like here with the Lovers too, there's this kind of mirroring energy and almost holding up a mirror to the other person. It may feel like you guys are oddly similar, or you have gone through similar experiences, which make you feel all the more closer. But there's also this subtleness to it, which is obviously what it says on the card here too. And improving communication, I think, is really key, and aiding in life's transitions, which is where this flow and this shifting cycles cards come through, and wherever there's been energy blockage. And there is really direct movement here through the Knight of Swords and also the Knight of Wands. So it feels like whatever has been unstuck for them in love is now almost releasing. That tension is releasing, and there's this openness and freeness where maybe there hadn't been for a while. It feels they want to just say how much of a teammate you are, how much you aid them in ways that you may not even know. We've got the Three of Pentacles, the sign of teamwork, but also the conquering of mountains, conquering those things that maybe those expectations and those things that they put so highly above them that maybe they didn't think that they were going to achieve. But with your input and with your energy, they're able to reach heights that they never thought, like dizzying heights that they never thought they would be able to reach. And with this Four of Wands, there's so much celebration to be had, and it's like you turn their celebrations up on max, that you are like their cheerleader and the person that they want to go to and celebrate everything, even if it's just a temporary thing. You're the person that they want to share that energy with, and it's almost like an oasis. We've got this city background in this card, and then this kind of celebration, it's like this temporary laurel, like this victory, obviously having the victory card here too, celebrating those victories, but also in your own kind of sanctuary with one another. Like you can be in a room full of people, but it really just feels like your two energies, like that's all they need. That's all they need to vibe. Wow. That's a word I haven't used in so long, but I love it. And I think with this Lovers card here, there is this feeling that you may be, with this reflection as well, kind of maybe you're mirror opposites, or maybe you're oddly similar, but there are some things which maybe clash sometimes. There's this kind of, you can stand boldly apart, and maybe that's even just your paths in life in terms of what your career or aspirations, or maybe one person is much more methodical and you know, and maybe quite, I want to say practical, that's the word. And maybe the other person is more open to spirituality, or kind of goes through following their intuition, their gut, their instincts, that kind of thing. And it might just be that there's different methods of how you approach things, and maybe that's where that communication comes in through the opalite. But there is this togetherness, and you can you can celebrate those differences. Those differences make you a team and make you your strongest team and unite you, because that love is a choice, and it feels like both people are showing up for this connection, and they want to continue to show up with this man holding a heart right underneath, regardless of gender or anything. With the man, it would be that kind of yang energy, that active energy. And with these knights as well, we've got these like we've got direction. It's going places. This person wants to put in the effort, wants to show up and commit on that level. And they know that, I think they think you're a powerful, badass person with this Magician card here that can literally do and speak anything into existence. If like you have this really strong, intuitive kind of energy, it's like you can almost know what they're thinking or know where that flow. There's no resistance to the change, whereas maybe they were resistant at one point to the cycles of change. And like I said, that thing coming unplugged, maybe actually for both people I'm hearing in love, maybe that was something that felt cut off or took a big shift, especially within this connection for you both, that it feels drastically different from the energy from when you maybe first met, of where you both were. And there was no unnecessary stress. Everything kind of just has melded together in the way that it was supposed to, and it just feels like it's ignited and gone further. And I'm literally hearing these like horse beats, like these hooves, like everything just keeps rolling, and it's good. It's like a really nice energy, and this person is just going with the flow. And maybe if they're quite a practical person or likes to speak their mind and take charge a bit, maybe it's quite hard sometimes to feel like things are just naturally happening in front of them, and like it just feels like that path is clear. Like there doesn't feel like there's roadblocks. Things are just happening in the way that they should. And with that reflection, I really do feel like it's too, I would never say anyone makes you whole or anything like that, because you are your own wholeness anyway. But it's really like cherry on top of the cake kind of energy here. Like you can see the other's gifts and talents, and they help ignite your own, but also help challenge you in the best and healthiest of ways. It's really, really beautiful. And I think I would say I get this energy that they are much more Knight of Swords, this air energy here, where maybe they want to be very brave and they want to speak out about this love. They want to like shout it from the rooftops because they feel so instinctually towards you. They just feel like I'm hearing it's their destiny. Like they're just like, let's ride off into the sunset. Let's show people who we are and how strong this is. But and I don't think it's like an overwhelming, like we have to PDA like in public or anything, because there is this like private oasis within you both too. But I think they're just so proud to have you on their arm and have you in this connection. So whether, you might not be exclusive with this person, but I get a heavy sense that a lot of you probably are in a relationship with this person. It feels like they just want to sing this from the rooftops. Like they love love. They love this energy that they're in. They are overwhelmed by the feelings that they get from you. I really want to get some channeled messages as well, but I really do think teamwork is the thing here, and that there is this commitment on a really deep level with this Lovers card. Like you're a partner to them, someone that even if you walk really drastically different roads, see things in different ways and everything, like there is just a sense of victory. Like they can just close their eyes. They know that this is almost where it's going, sort of thing. There's just this freedom from the restraints. And in each of the cards, in these two cards, we've got this kind of city background behind, and then this peaceful kind of oasis, this garden, this freedom. And it feels like outside of everything, every other relationship, every other connection that they might have had, they don't feel like the eyes of the world are watching them, or they feel like they have to live up to the conventions, like, you know, like I'm hearing like, you know, the dating rules and stuff, like what you don't do and don't do. There's none of that. There's none of that bull, basically. It's just, it's me and this person, and that's all that matters. Everything else is able to just melt away and becomes background noise. And yeah, there is just this heavy direction, because we've got this directed intuition and thinking of future and forward planning, and there's no resistance to it. It's like riding that wave. They're just riding the high that's coming from it. Yeah, I love it. Okay, let's get some channeled messages for this pile. So I'm not going to shuffle this, because every time I shuffle these, they go crazy. So I'm just going to pick them out as they come. So my mind and heart are saying different things. And I don't think this is necessarily a bad thing, especially if, like I said, they might be quite practical. Maybe their heart is like, maybe them being a quite practical person, and or it might be it could be flip-flopped, so it could be you that's more, and vice versa. So it just flip it if it feels like the other way around, because I do feel like with the reflection it could flip-flop a lot of this reading. So if I've said, oh, maybe they're this energy, you're that energy, it may change. It's like two sides of a coin, like that partnership, that thing, what am I doing? But yeah, with this mind and heart, I think if your heart is like leaping forward and is like, I can see this, and almost dreaming so big about something, but your mind is quite practical, drawing it back in. It's like that child that wants to go play and that adult pulling it apart. And then there might be the other, like pulling it back, sorry, not pulling it apart. And with that mind, maybe the other person, their mind reaches back, but their heart is like, okay, but don't open yourself too quickly, like slow down, just go with the flow, like don't get ahead of yourself, sort of thing. So I can see both, that kind of push and pull. But so that doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing, really, for this. Okay. I need to work on myself. And again, I think everybody realizes, and like I said with that cherry, everybody needs to work on themselves. Everybody has to go through like the shifting cycles within themselves too. And maybe with this Three of Pentacles card, that teamwork, maybe you guys even met in like a workplace scenario or environment is what I'm hearing for some people. But they might just have these plans and these things that they need to work towards, and they have those goals. But also maybe I'm also hearing that maybe there's things with that reflection that they know that they need to take on board, that they need to grow from and evolve from. But everybody is doing that all the time. And we're on different paths at the moment. So again, that might be the mind-heart thing of someone reaching forward, pulling back, like that feeling that this could be a long distance thing as well, is what I'm hearing for some people potentially. But there might just be different ambitions and different goals. And that doesn't mean you don't celebrate one another and you don't hold each other up. But it might just be that there's things that blocks in the road, or things that kind of, I said earlier that there weren't any blocks, but what I mean is there's always some obstacle. There's always, whether it's time, whether it's like the location, whatever it is, like everybody in any connection, there's always things that need to be worked on, or that kind of thing. But also with the paths, I get it much more from a practical, like society sense, that there's things that each person is chasing or aspiring to, as we all do, goals and ambitions and dreams and desires. And that doesn't mean that when you're not together, there's not that connection, but there's that away from it. And the thing is, you would always be walking a different path in life. And with a partnership, it's not that you walk the same path and you have to be doing the same things and that kind of thing, but you walk your separate paths and you're able to wave at each other and cheer each other on, be that cheerleader for the other person whilst they're walking theirs. That's the Lover's card as well, you know, standing boldly to be together. And I think that kind of resonates with me on that level. I hate that I caused you tears. Okay, so potentially with this Knight of Swords as well, we can kind of have this kind of brashness maybe as well this is the thing, words and thoughts can lie, but energy doesn't. So maybe their energy doesn't speak of these things, but maybe sometimes their energy can be quite brash or directed or quite forward, or maybe they say things and they don't realize, or I just get this energy that it wasn't intentional. It feels like collateral damage. So there might be some instances where there's been pain or disturbances or things, especially if there's like logistical things that might need to be worked out, if it's long distance or stuff like that. Or maybe if it's something that was kind of stop and started and maybe felt blocked up at the beginning, maybe now that there's this freedom and then there's this movement forward, they're sorry for all the stuff that came before as well. So for some people that might be for that too. Let's get some oracle cards now for you, because I want to focus on what Spirit has to say to you too. So we've kind of got their unsaid feelings, but then this might also yield some more things to talk about. So Spirit for pile 1, what messages do you have for them? So funny, those two just absolutely flew out. Maybe you're only supposed to have 2. Okay, let's go for these 2. And if we feel like we want to go for more, we'll go for more. Integrity. I align with the center of myself, a glowing core of personal integrity. Emanating from this core is the knowledge that I never have to compromise who I am or what I want for anybody. I can live a life that doesn't include settling unless I want to settle, in which case settling would be my idea of perfection and would cease to be considered settling. Ugh, paradoxes hurt. I love this card, and this is very much, we're on different paths at the moment, and I've talked about different communication styles or different ways of just being, and that's absolutely fine. You are who you are, and it says in the corner, home is where the heart is, but the home is within yourself. You are your home, and it needs to feel right. And especially if you allow energy into that space, always stand up for yourself. You don't compromise for anyone, even if you're in a relationship and a connection with somebody. You don't settle. You don't settle for any of the values, anything that, you know, doesn't feel right to you. If there's something that doesn't sit right within your energy, don't hold it in. Don't block it up. Allow it to flow out of you. Allow yourself to say it. Because things are constantly shifting and growing and changing, and everybody, like I said, needs to work on themselves. There might be things for them to continue to learn and grow, and it's like that reflection, that mirror, you're both going to be holding each other up and making each other better. And that's why people come into our lives, for us to learn lessons. So if there's something that you need to say, or you need to, you know, shout from the rooftops as well as they do, you know, that open communication, I feel like, is something that's being learnt through this connection of like, I'm standing up for myself and my beliefs, and this person I trust will listen to that and respect that. And with this, I didn't really talk about psychic ability either, and also transition, I realized too, but we've kind of talked about the cycles here. But transition, there's a lot of like changes happening, I think, within yourself and this person's like own self. and within this connection, and maybe it's even the connection to love. And those shifts can sometimes be painful. Sometimes we can resist the change, or sometimes we allow it to flow over us. But it's really breaking down old cycles, old patterns of thinking and being. And Spirit wants to say that you've been guided to this person for a reason, to learn those lessons. And with this psychic ability, maybe, I mean, it's like you didn't know that they were coming, but maybe you kind of manifested or asked for it, or asked to learn these lessons in a roundabout way, and it came in the package of a person, which maybe wasn't what you were expecting. But also with this psychic ability, it feels like there's this trust in the flow, trust in where it's going, trust in the universe that it's got your back, and Spirit, and trust that you wouldn't have been given anything that you wouldn't be able to work through and handle. And I also think with spirituality, and also that Lovers card as well, this does feel like a kind of, I was going to say higher love, but that didn't really land for me. I think what I mean is this path has opened up almost from Spirit and the universe for you for a reason, and things are flowing for that reason, and it's intuitively pulling you down there. So act on those instincts, act on those impulses that you feel, and be okay with speaking your truth and saying it what it is that you are feeling, even in that spiritual sense. Pleasure. I give myself permission to feel pleasure, and I let that pleasure rush into my life in a decadent display of over-the-top abundance. Then I realize that pleasure has been waiting at my door for a long time. It's just that pleasure doesn't knock on doors because loud noises aren't super pleasant. I love this. I think this, for me, is Spirit wanting to opening up this kind of thing for you, maybe for a long time, or maybe where that blocked energy felt. And maybe the shifting cycles, maybe they were kind of pouring at you, and maybe also this person kind of like scratching to try and get through the door, but it doesn't matter. It's kind of opened up now, and this could be the beginning of this over-the-top abundance, this decadent display. And it might feel weird, like having an energy which is so directed your way, like this person's energy just being focused on you, like with this man holding a heart, like the heart, this activeness, this like looking intensely, like it feels like an intensive kind of heart on your sleeve sort of love, or heart on your knee. Is that the expression now? But it might feel really odd, like having this sense of victory, and doesn't seem to be anything, like logistics aside, maybe there doesn't seem to be anything blocking the energy of this connection, the love of this connection. And don't luxuriate in the abundance. Don't expect a knock on the door saying this is over now. Just be there, feel the pleasure of it, and just enjoy yourself while you're there. There's this home here that keeps coming up, this comfort, and I think this person feels it too, and just feel comfortable in it and live inside of it, because that love, like we said, is a choice. It can bring, disappointment sometimes, excitement, joy. It can lead us down, towards pain sometimes, or tears, and maybe there have been tears cried over this connection if there's things that have been frustrating, but it doesn't mean that it kind of shows that you both care, I think. And don't expect, enjoy it while you're here, and while you're enjoying it, and for however long you guys get to tread down this path together, waving each other along through life. As long as it feels like home, and as long as there's comfort and pleasure there, that's all you need. All you need is love, is what I'm hearing. And also with that love story song, like I said right at the beginning with Taylor Swift, I'm being brought back to that. It's not a star-crossed lover's tragedy, this, and Taylor's version is not that of Love Story. It's a rewriting, and it all ends happily, and she wears a dress and they get their family's approval, so nothing like the play. So it maybe feels like a love story as old as time, but don't expect the ending don't expect the ending, basically, is what I want to say. Be open to the course that's opening up in front of you, and trust that it's in your life for a reason, for you to grow and learn from. And yeah, it's just powerful. This whole reading for me has been just power. There just feels like this draw and this connectivity outside of everything, outside of influence. And that mind, those thoughts that mind and heart thing, it feels like the hearts are there, and it's always going to be the mind, the logistical part, the words and thoughts sometimes that kind of get in the way. But if the energy doesn't lie. So feel the energy of the situation, see feeling me forward for it, because I'm here for it, guys. I am feeling this energy. So pile one, I'm going to leave this here for you guys today. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. I absolutely loved reading your cards today. If you'd like to see more of me, please do hit that subscribe button. I'd love to see you guys next time. Until then, sending so much love. Bye. Hello, my lovely friends of pile 2. So if you picked the Flower Agate Cube and also the Lunar Soleil Tarot deck, then this reading is going to be for you. So I'm going to, as you can see, I've already shuffled your oracle cards. I'm going to put them aside, but the first thing that I'm hearing is White Winged Dove sings a song, sounds like she's singing, which is Edge of 17, Stevie Nicks. But there's been an Edge of Midnight with Miley Cyrus and Stevie Nicks. And I don't know if that song resonates or on like a spiritual level to you, but also this white winged dove heralds in peace. So yeah, sorry, I just needed to bring that up firstly, before, and it's also hope too. So yeah, just wanted to say that off the bat. So let's put your crystal aside and your oracle cards aside, and let's get shuffling. So pile 2, what are their person's unsaid feelings for them, Spirit? So we'll give them a real good shuffle. Please just hold that person in your mind whilst I'm shuffling. You don't have to have a spiritual connection to that song. I mean, who doesn't? Stevie Nicks on some level, but yeah, that just came to mind as something to say. So, oh, hello, we are already going. So we've firstly got the Moon, we have got the 7 of Cups there too. Awesome. We have got the King of Swords. So, Spirit, for pile 2, what are that person's unsaid feelings? We have the 2 of Cups. Okay, let me just make sure they're all in view for you guys. We've got the Sun as well. We've got the Wheel of Fortune. Wow. And okay, and we've got Judgment on the back there too. We'll move you there whilst I pop you down. Great, everything is groovy. It's all in view. That's the main thing. Great. Okay, lovely. And then in terms of oracle cards, we have, you may not always understand why certain things happen. However, there is always a higher purpose to the events in your life. Through turmoil, a blessing will soon be revealed. We have first chakra, Archangel Michael. We've also got citrine, energizing abundance, emotional balance. I am lit from within, full of possibility and abundance. Sorry, I don't know why it took me so long to read the word lit. I am lit from within, full of prosperity and abundance. And I'll go more into that because I love these cards in a moment on the citrine. We've also got space, and we've also got intuition. So the first thing that is glaring at me are all these major cards, all this major arcana through the Sun, the Wheel of Fortune, and also the Judgment card. And we've got intuition, and also the Moon, sorry. And we've got intuition too, which speaks volumes to me. But the first thing that I'm hearing is in a really scary situation, and maybe that's just love for them, for this person. When it came to love, it felt like the possibilities were endless, but also didn't lead anywhere potentially. Like, it felt like there were so many paths in front of them, and they almost cast them in a shadow. Like, they never felt themselves in a situation, and I just don't think they were able to discern who had their best interests, like whether this was something that someone wanted or didn't want, like whether their paths actually aligned. And it feels like they were constantly maybe picking the wrong things for them, or like they just were dealt really hard lessons and met a lot of turmoil, and those lessons they took kind of in their stride. I feel like they are able now to disconnect and find a healthy detachment from those things and see them from a higher perspective. With this King of Swords, we've got a lot of air energy here. So potentially Libra, Gemini or Aquarius could be in this person's chart, or maybe features in your chart. We've also got a lot of water energy too. So Scorpio, Cancer, and Pisces. But don't worry, if not on the citrine card, we've also got Aries, Gemini, Leo, Libra. So there's more air sign there and a bit of fire. But Earth, Wind and Fire, there's no Earth. Sorry, I just heard Earth, Wind and Fire and I was like, but there's no Earth. Sorry, I will continue. So yes, I feel like this person maybe didn't understand the cycles that happened to them, didn't understand why they were constantly met there, but it was really to do with their deep-seated fears and anxieties that they needed to push through and shed light on. They felt like love was always an illusion, something that almost slipped through their fingers and passed them by, and it's like they couldn't grasp it, whether people left them or they were in situationships or things, or maybe they were in relationships that they ended kind of out the blue, or they didn't really understand the cycles, that how it was spinning, but they were continually trying to show up for it. It's not that they pulled back, they kept trying to mend themselves and grow and learn, but it felt like there was just space to be filled, and they wanted to find it. And I think I'm hearing Black Hole by Griff, that song, and specifically there's a big black hole where my heart used to be and I'm filling it up with things that I don't need. And it's almost like they were trying to find wholeness in somebody else, and they actually needed to confront a lot of the things within themselves to find that wholeness so that they could show up in that way. And now they're able to see a higher perspective from it, and they definitely feel guided to this point, and they understand that things happen for a reason. And I think that reason was you, and that's what's led them to you, that all those paths, those multitude of possibilities, the roads that they maybe went down that didn't feel right, there's now this kind of, and with this Edge of Midnight song that I referenced earlier, it feels like they're on the edge of something, on the precipice of something, and they're not done showing up for it, and they understand that everything that came before was to bring the light. With this Sun card, it's like the moon into sun rising. There's this new joy and excitement and clarity with the citrine here too, this energizing abundance that is coming through, and the blessings have almost started to arrive from them, and they feel like they've got their mojo back, is what I'm hearing. Like there's this stability and security which is kind of feeling like it's been restored within them, and things feel freer, and like things are flowing now in a way that wasn't, and they just feel strength, and like they feel themselves, and they feel like they know that they can take action now, that they're not scared to show up for it. Like they're owning their power in a really real way. They're owning their story for where they've been. And for some people, maybe there was hurt in the past. Maybe I'm hearing for some, maybe this is a reconciliation of sorts, and maybe this person has come back and changed and learned and grown from energy that they were maybe when they were in this kind of space mindset, like looking for their wholeness in someone else, and have done that work and reinvented themselves in some way. But that might not be for everybody. But I just feel like this person can sometimes, with this King of Swords energy, maybe come off a little bit cold or aloof, like maybe at times you can't quite peg their energy, like you're not sure. They're quite kind of sharp-minded and astute, and that can sometimes feel quite cold and judgmental, but actually they're very intuitive. And I think with this citrine as well, there's very like much a positive mindset within there. They just see things in a different way, view things and life in a different way than others. And I think actually there is a connection to spirit, or certainly the cycles. And I feel like they are like nah to fate, no destiny, potentially. But actually, like, they are that everybody's guided, but they actually have, like, when they are met with change, they don't resist it. They're like, let's go for it. Let's lean into this. And with this Wheel of Fortune card, they know that cycles can be good and bad, that everything happens for a reason, and maybe this meeting that you guys have had, or maybe this reconciliation that you both have had or had in the past, feels like it was fated. Like it was so coincidental, like it couldn't be anything else. And time kind of wove its way together, and it's how it's there. And they couldn't help, I think, but feel like they were being intuitively guided, and that like a higher spiritual calling path with this Judgment card was opening up those blessings, that this relationship and connection has a higher purpose. And maybe it's their thoughts and their words that can sometimes kind of which come from their fears and anxieties. Maybe that's something that hindered the connection before, because words and thoughts can all lie, energy doesn't. And now it feels like the energy is in a space where they're able to really push past the illusions, that inner critic voice that may sometimes appear in their periphery, and really bring joy and light to it, and shed light on what actually is there. And what is actually there with this Two of Cups is, this is the card of reciprocation and love. That's what there is to an initial idea or person or relationship. And it's a seed of it's a seed. It's something that gets planted and grows, and you nurture it. But there's reciprocated energy on both sides. There's that security and dependability on the other person. It's also known as the soulmate card as well. So soulmates might be something that you resonate with. You might not within this connection, but everybody, like I said, comes into your life for a reason, and this person feels that. There was a space that they've left space for love. Like, they know what the energy of love is, and whether it's through them or other people, it's not worked out, it's been cut off. They might have been separated from it before, and maybe there was space and time for you both as well, and it's brought you back together almost. It had its eyes on you, space and time, and it was like throwing you back in towards each other, to realize how much you guys have grown and changed, and how it's for a higher purpose is really what I want to say. And I think that intuition, that whispering, that feeling of, and I think the space and time allowed for quiet, for in like tapping into wisdom, but also into spirit, into why things had to happen in those ways, looking at those hard lessons and evolving and growing for both people. And now there's this energy and this abundance that's coming through from that. And I am lit. And obviously I struggled to say lit earlier, but that light within you, it feels like maybe it's also twin flames might be something that resonates with you instead of soulmates. For some people, maybe if it feels like that space and time, whether maybe if it's for the reconciliation people, if you feel like you guys reconciled after that space and time, but maybe for the others who I said, maybe it's something new and this was based off of past relationships that they had that space. So it might be that some people resonate with twin flames if it's reconciliation, and soulmates for the others. but there's now this positivity and abundant mindset for both, and there's this warmth and vibrancy between both people. And I love this: success and wealth, the stone of abundance filled with joy and clear vision. And it does feel like there's clarity now. Wherever there was illusion in the moon, wherever there was that darkness, whether they couldn't tell whether someone was a friend or foe in love, now they see this abundance, this joy, this sun. And this is the sunflower as well with the citrine card. So there's just this beauty, this joy in life, and also this connection, and allowing it to water and grow and flourish, which I absolutely love. And it really feels like it breaks out of the box of what they expected love to be and what they were like before. And that is down to you and the energy that they give you. And that's what they would want to say, is that it's scary. It's scary for them to open up in this way, but they do believe, even if they are a bit like fate, destiny, no tarot reading on YouTube, what are you doing? Like, if that's something that they say, if that's their kind of like view of it. But there is this kind of, in a way, they're like, this is too coincidental not to have, like, something's going on here. Something's conspiring to get us together in some way, especially after their track in love. I think they can't help but see that this has something higher. This is something greater. This uplifts them in a way and brings them something that they haven't felt before. And with this emotional balance too, with that reciprocation there, it feels like there's no doubt in their mind, out of all the paths and possibilities that came before, or the energy not knowing where it's going to go, feeling like love cast them in a bit of a shadow that they never had a hold. Like, now they feel like, no, it's clear, the path ahead is clear, and we can tread this. And they're healed and reassured by your presence and by your energy and the reciprocated energy that you give them. Like, you give them everything they could need and more. So yeah, I want to get some channeled messages for you as well. And it also feels like an alarm bell. So maybe if some people were in a separation with this person for a time, maybe they just felt like there was just this intuitive, like, pile two, like this knocking at them to like, why are you putting yourself back in the box? Like, get back out there, stop putting it on snooze, and actually like go step up and be the person that you want to be. Like, step into your personal power. Like, you're being guided to for a reason, for this purpose. Because the thing about change is your reaction, and I feel like they were maybe in the throngs of change and maybe loads of different places within their life, and maybe within love especially, and maybe they didn't react. Maybe they were quite down on themselves for how they acted in the past. But there is this feeling like, I'm seeing 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. And I just like heard figure skating for some reason, or like Strictly Come Dancing, like those dancing shows basically where it's out of 10. And it's almost like this person is a 10 is what I'm hearing. I love that. This person is a 10 out of 10 out of 10 out of 10, like in everything, personality, like beauty inside and out, like everything, humor, like what are you doing? Like, there's this kind of like, why are we holding this up in any way? Like, this is for you. It's come to your life for a reason. Don't hold yourself back, is what I'm hearing. I've been wishing for you, and yeah, I really do get that sense like they've held that space, that kind of candle for someone like you, for the energy that you bring. And like I said, they don't understand why always things have to happen in their way, but it happened for a reason, and they were holding space. It's like they got everything. They got their emotional ducks in a row. They were able to detach from situations which were highly emotional and see them from a different perspective. And now they feel that emotional balance. We have got, I never want to lose you. I mean, I think as long as the energy feels reciprocated and there's joy, there's energy, there's this abundance that feels like it comes, and it, you know, lessons can be hard and you can go through those lessons together and become stronger from them. That's a beautiful sentiment there. I can't put my guard down yet. So yeah, so like I said with that King of Swords, sometimes there might be that coldness, there might be that astuteness, but I think they're quite established in their thoughts, like their fears and anxieties maybe ruled them for quite a long time. So sometimes that might be quite difficult for them to put their guard down in that way. But I think slowly but surely everybody's got their guard. We've got three faces, everybody. I've done a reading on this, which I absolutely love doing. The face that we show the outward world, our most perfected, like curated face, our second, which we show to our closest friends and family, and then the third face, which we hardly ever let anybody see, and that's where they might not be able to put their guard down. Like, they still regard you in that second face as someone who's really close and they can share a lot with, but there's some things and the pain maybe that they've gone through, especially within that moon, and the things that they've learnt about themselves, they might want to just repress down, or maybe they're still going through that journey and still working through those cycles. Everybody's working on themselves, and those deep-seated fears and anxieties don't feel like intuitively, maybe you know that there's more going on underneath the surface. They'll open up in their own time. Don't worry about it. Thank you for always being you. And just, I think there's just that that sentiment is so beautiful, but there's that authenticity of you just being there, being present with that Two of Cups, showing up, and yeah, and just being there with them and giving them your attention, and just being this sunflower is what I'm hearing, like that, this joy and this clarity that has just burst through for them in a situation where maybe they didn't feel like they had a lot of hope. And that brings us back to that white-winged dove as well, like this person that kind of brings through that that branch, that peace and prosperity to them. I'm going to leave that up just there. After a long road. Okay, great. Oh, hello. We have got some cards for you, and these are love affirmators for you, advice from spirit for you. Thoughtfulness. It's time to put your money where your mouth is and have fun showing your love. Think of all the little things you can do to show a person you love them. Then stop thinking of those things and actually do them. Is it time to hide a note in someone's pocket, make them a snack, order them a book? Anything thoughtful can be an act of love. Even taking the trash out to the dumpster, unless you're dating the trash, in which case don't take it to the dumpster, take it somewhere fancy. Wow, who would have thought that being so full of thoughts could be considered thoughtful? I love this, because this person, like I said, could be in their head quite a lot of the time, and I think that thoughtfulness coming from you, and especially if you're you intuitively move forward, and I don't think you're not a thoughtful person in any way, but their fears and anxieties can sometimes grapple them so strongly, and maybe when it comes to the past, so showing them and being that thoughtful, like thinking ahead and mentally, like making them feel like there's no other, like showing them so their thoughts can, their inner critic can basically be quiet, like there's no other way that you feel about them. Not that you don't do that already, but there's that, and also there's that joy. And also when it said taking the trash out to the dumpster, I laugh because I'm on that side of TikTok where where everyone's like, it's so hot, like taking out trash or doing chores for people, and that's like a love language of mine, like cleanliness. I love it. So it's just those really small things, I think, that really set a lot into my side, didn't it, of who I am. But yeah, that thoughtfulness. We've got depth as well. As new people show up in my life, I look for all the weird, wonderful, complex layers below their surface. I can't be surprised by someone's depth of character unless I'm willing to peel back the outer layers and go a little deeper. It's like the brand new saying goes, don't judge an onion by its haircut. So yeah, we go deep, we're peeling back layers, and it's okay to be exactly where you are right now. Like, people will show you who they are slowly but surely. Like, this person on the surface might feel cold or aloof or that kind of thing, but that thoughts, words, actions can all lie. energy doesn't, and intuitively you know that there's much more there. Allow them to come to peace with themselves and feel, because they already feel that security and that empowerment with being in your area, in your energy. They feel strong and stable and safe and secure, and that's only bringing around the environment that will help them go deeper with you. I'm not gonna say it. We've got solidarity. I respect the power of solidarity and look for opportunities to unleash it. When a loved one has to do something tough, I'll heed their often silent but sometimes loud and whiny call and participate in the toughness with them. Everything is easier when a partner cohort psychic joins you. The only thing that's not easier is feeling resentment, which I suppose is the overall point. So I like this again because they're doing household tasks together, but I mean that's not what this card is about at all, but I just thought I'd laugh because of the thoughtfulness. But there is this power in being bold together and working through those things, those depths, those fears and anxieties, which maybe you share a lot with them. And with that often silent call, like it feels like you can already feel that energy. And this is, with this Judgment card and this Wheel of Fortune and all this major arcana, like there is a higher purpose to this, and this card spoke of it already. So there's going to be tough lessons that need to be learned and that will shape you. And you know, I feel like this person is your partner, is your sidekick through that. And it may be tough because some of the lessons come from them, and they might hold a mirror up to you sometimes, and that can be really, really hard. Or it might just be externally outside of this relationship. But everything is easier when you're together and you have that sense of togetherness and you're on the same page. So keep that communication there. And yeah, the resentment and the holding on to things that you don't need, like we said, that black hole in Griff, like holding on to those things, create the space and the environment in which that you can tackle the things that matter and are important. Don't let the little things get to you. Maybe receiving, I open up and allow myself to receive love in all ways from all directions. It may seem scary, but it's better than receiving audits, bedbugs, or hate mail. I receive love and it feels so good that I decide to receive it some more, and then some more, and maybe just a wee bit more. So giving and receiving, give and take within connections. Like there's nothing wrong with being a giving person, you or them, but allow your cup to be constantly filled with this Two of Cups. This love is something that's honest, true, and strong, and can bring about so much abundance. Don't hold on to the little things, like I was saying, like leave space for the important things to come to you. And give and take is so important. Like that thoughtfulness of giving will only help them do the same. And just be there and allow it to be opened up for you. It might feel weird in some respects for you as well. You might be on a similar journey from them and might have had that turmoil and heartbreak and that pain and that sorrow. Like you've got your own story when it comes to love too, and you are so deserving of love, and you are a person full of depth and layers and complexity, and your thoughts might get the better of you. Your inner critic might be loud at some points, but you can both go through that shared experience together, and just know that you are so worthy of this, so worthy of this connection, and it's been brought to you for a reason. It's happening for you, not to you. It's not coincidence, it's not chance, even if there's that thread of fate that maybe brought you guys together in a weird way, in a weird wonderful way. Like it's there. Like be open and receptive to all the energy that is coming your way. And yeah, I absolutely love it. Guys, I'm going to leave that reading there for you guys today. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. I really hope it resonated with you. If you'd like to see me again, please do hit that subscribe button. I'd love to see you guys next time. Until then, I'm sending so much love. Bye. Hi lovely friends of pile 3. So if you picked the Friends TV show tarot deck and also the Green Amateur Star, then this reading is going to be for you. So we're going to pop your oracle cards to the side. I've already shuffled these for you, and we're going to get going with this reading. So I'm going to shuffle your cards on camera, give them a good old shuffle. Please do hold your person in mind whilst I am shuffling. This is one of my really fun decks. I love this deck. I love this energy. And there will definitely be some friends' quotes or references to some episodes, I'm sure, just because that's what always calls to me when I use this. Doesn't mean that you need to have watched it or resonate with it. If you just picked the pile, there just might be some things that are very specific that come up, which is great because I can tell it through a medium which a lot of people will know, or just stories that help enhance it. So let's get going. So for pile 3, Spirit, what are their person's unsaid feelings for them? Ooh, what are their person's unsaid feelings for pile 3, please, Spirit? So we have got the Hermit. What are their unsaid feelings? We've got the Chariot too. We have got the Devil as well. Wow, okay. Holy Major Arcana for 1. Let's keep going. Ooh, we have got the Magician. Okay, up. Wants to be up. And we've got the 5 of Cups. And on the back of the deck, we have got the 7 of Swords as well. Okay. Interesting. This is really an interesting energy right now. Okay. So, in terms of oracle cards, we have got balance. Love is not always about agreeing just for the sake of it. A great relationship is one that both supports and challenges. We have got hostilities. We have got azurite, psychic intuition, guidance, and the affirmation, I open my mind to guidance and new possibilities. We have got pain. And we've also got abundance, which is really interesting. This does feel like a balancing act for this. It feels like this relationship is maybe teetering on the edge of something. Maybe it's going it with that balance card. It feels like I want to address the hostilities and the pain first. It feels like there are obstacles that feel unnecessary, or just overwhelming obstacles at the moment, which has thrown this person into their head and really into their feelings too. And it feels like there is a lot of maybe secrets or this deception within this connection, or maybe it's something that they have experienced before and maybe they're not telling you the full picture. So that's maybe why you want to gauge on what their unsaid feelings are. And I think it's that they've come up against a lot of pain and they've really had to fight for themselves and in defense of themselves for a lot of things within love in a general sense, and maybe in their past connections. And I think with the Chariot, like there were some really big barriers that felt like that were in front of them that they didn't understand the complexity of. And I think with this balance card, with all of those challenges, with the Devil feeling like you're bound to the conventions of what other people believe and everything in a real sense in that way. And the power of the Devil is an illusion. So a lot of the things, and maybe the way that they were acting and stuff, maybe towards the beginning when you guys met, or maybe in past relationships, didn't feel like they were actually picking love and choosing love. They were choosing things that they thought love should be, or how they should act and how they should be and feel. And my voice is even going a little bit croaky, and I'm actually really clear today. So it feels like it didn't even feel like their voice. Like they don't even know, didn't know even who was speaking, who was taking over the reins. And with this 5 of Cups, it feels like they lost a lot of pleasure, and not even within love in a general sense, but also in themselves. Like, I think they found a lot of displeasure in the way that they were acting or going about things, and maybe they caused unnecessary hostilities, and that doesn't, you know, hostile, it can just be unnecessary blocks or barriers and challenges, and they created a lot of pain, and maybe other people created a lot of pain within love for them. And I really think that this connection really makes them look inwards and has challenged them to really look at themselves. So maybe when I said within this connection, for some people, maybe this was prior, before this connection happened, that this hostilities, and maybe they were chasing the wrong things or going after the wrong things, chasing money, sex, or politics with this devil cards, kind of dancing to the tune of other people or what they thought they should be doing. Like, I'm getting this image of like scrolling on TikTok and like, do you know, like, there's so many videos. I was going to say, do you know videos? Do you know those, there's like advice videos for like men or women of what you should do and what you shouldn't do, like mind games, power play, all of those things, how to make your man feel this or how to make a woman do that. Like, I skip straight past those things, but like, I think it's almost like that, like they were choosing to act in a certain way that didn't actually feel like they were there in it. They were doing it and almost following that for an unbeknownst reason to them as well. Like, I think they look back and they're like, why was I acting like a dick? I'm really sorry, I want to say that, a dick. And like, with Joey, you know, there's that womanizer quality. We love Joey, but there is that way that they treat women sometimes and almost make them feel like it's their issues and stuff like that. But sometimes, we love you, Joey, but yeah, sometimes the writing, very 90s. But with that Seven of Swords, like, I think they manipulated situations or kept secrets or kept themselves back, or certainly like had their own agenda and goal. And maybe that was at the start of this connection, and they've had to really look within themselves, because maybe they realized that, and I think they do realize that you're not like other people, whether it was this connection or a previous relationship. You are not going to put up with bull. You are not going to put up with it for a moment. And actually, you are everybody that they would have interacted with before as an abundant, worthy of love individual. I don't think that that's not the case, but you call them out in a way I think that nobody else does. And maybe this even started as a friendship for some people, because obviously we're looking at the friendship tarot, and Joey and Phoebe, I would say, are kind of platonic soulmates. Like, they are soulmates that are friends, and maybe that's how it started with you both. But I think you hold them up to and you might not have started as friends, that doesn't matter, but you are like, you are a powerful being and you use your power in the right way. And it's so funny because when the Magician fell out first, it fell on the reverse over the Devil, whilst I was shuffling. And the Magician reverse there's this deception and there's this secrecy and this abuse of power. And actually with it upright, in this upright position, and it coming from you and their actual feelings from you is what I'm hearing. It feels like you showed them how to use your power in a way that brings abundance to other people, brings other people and yourself joy, and how you can really bring about what you want in a way that co-creates with spirit, that supports, and it brings about that balance in a really healthy way by drawing your attention at how it actually brings more abundance when you're on a path where you're choosing love and you're choosing yourself, even if that's bold and brave, and it takes a lot of courage and determination and willpower and really like learning the hard lessons within yourself. So I think they are almost quite intimidated by the power that you have, and they almost retreat quite a lot into themselves, I think, to try and find this deeper reflective state. And maybe you went cold on them. For some people, I'm hearing that maybe if they hurt you in the past, that you maybe went really cold and retreated in and didn't allow them in. Like, you weren't budging. You were like, you don't get to go anywhere near my chariot. Like, you are not coming anywhere near my personal power because you don't deserve it. And I think that maybe took them a long time, and maybe they, like I said, they really had to work on themselves and look within themselves. And maybe for some people, they're still doing that. And I think they realize that they like mess with the wrong person. Like with this Azurite, with this psychic intuition and guidance, like I think they see you as this kind of this magician, this like psychic entity, like this person that knows what they're feeling and thinking, and you intuitively know, like you can call them out, you can smell it from a mile away, like you are guided. And I think you are not going to just agree with them in maybe the way that other people did in the past, and just kind of you're not going to allow them to treat you in a way that doesn't respect your values and doesn't treat you as you should be treated. So I think they might have retreated even from you, or you may have retreated from them. There's almost this cut off energy and I feel like it's probably more from your side, that separated yourself from it, and you were like, no. And and you're like kind of this show me, don't tell me kind of attitude. And I think they respect you for that. And I think they realize how, I think that you are holding up a mirror to a lot of the things that they didn't want to look at within themselves. And actually a lot of the emotions that they haven't actually worked through, the pain that they haven't actually worked through. And I think they are really trying to find their way at the moment. Like they're really trying to claw back from the external distractions and the illusion of the devil of what they think they should be doing, and actually looking at what it is that they actually want, that guiding light, and trying to fan that, and realizing that that is really, really important to get over. Like they need to get over this thing, because they see you as a completely determined, courageous individual that is active. Like with this Chariot and this Magician, you are not going to wait around. You are not going to wait around for this person. You've got an abundance life, an abundance mindset, and you are not going to take any kind of rubbish from anybody. And I think they feel really challenged by this energy, because maybe if you guys are in a friendship group and maybe there was more for a time, or maybe this is a very early on connection, that kind of thing, they know that they need to do more and they need to be better. I want to go through here as well, and with this energies here as well for the Azurite, it says wakens psychic abilities. But so maybe they're awakening to more within themselves. With this Hermit card, they're asking the why question of themselves. They might not have all the answers at the moment, but they're really trying to focus on that internal guidance, that wisdom which is divinely guided. And yeah, really look within. And it can be a really scary place, having to confront all those fears, those anxieties, those things that you may not be particularly proud of, and all that pain. There is a lot of pain and sorrow underneath the surface of this person, and I think you can almost see that. You can see where that comes from, and you're like, I can smell what's happening from a mile away, but you need to work on this. You're not dragging yourself into this, which is so important, that you rise above that, and you can like be there as a support on their journey whilst they're facing these challenges, but it's their demons that they need to come up against. We've also got brings awareness to spiritual guidance, but I think that brings awareness is the most important part there. You bring awareness to their behavior and how they've acted before by being the light that you are and acting in the way that you do. You're not rising to their level. With this Seven of Swords, which can be manipulation, power play, secrets, or lies, it's like, I thought it's a clock, it's a watch, but at first I thought it was an evil eye, which is really interesting to me, like repelling that energy from you. So maybe you wear the evil eye, but also it offers a clear mind when in meditation and creates a clear connection to spirit, helps relieve worries, negative thoughts, and phobias. And I think that's what they're going through at the moment. They're trying to relieve the tension that they've created, the hostility that they've created. And maybe things came to a head with you both in a very real way. Maybe there was a bit of a flare up, or maybe they flared up a bit and you were like standing your ground, like, no, you don't get to say that. And I think at the bottom of like kind of the fear and anxiety and the darkness that was around them, it's like Pandora's box. At the bottom of the box, there's hope. And there's hope for this person, and maybe you have hope for this connection too. Maybe you hope that there will be something that comes about, but you're like, and I think spirit would say to you as well, like intuitively, you're on this abundant path. Like, keep following your abundance and allowing the energy, like keep your barriers, your boundaries strong, your shield strong for what you will and will not accept. And you know intuitively where you're guided towards. Don't hold up your own prosperity and your own pure happiness, because you know what that feels and is like. Listen to your own internal guidance, just like this person needs to. And you know, sometimes everybody comes into your life for a reason, and sometimes those bridges, maybe it feels like you're on two different timelines at the moment, but they need to confront the sorrow, the pain, the grief that they have caused other people, but also you and themselves. And don't allow your chariot to be held up. The thing that can block you is if you're not determined and you don't see your path and you don't trust it with every fiber of your being. I would say don't wait around for this person, because I think they're not expecting you to, and nor do they want you to wait around for them. Even in their heart of hearts, maybe they hope that you would, but that's not your path. It may be in the future they can catch up, but they need to do a lot of work, a lot of internal work, and I think they are aware of it in a very real way, in the way that they haven't been before. And not to mince my words, but yeah, I think sometimes we are cut off or separated from energy that doesn't serve us at that time, and whether you cut it off or whether they separated themselves, they went to isolation, whichever way it was, sometimes because, and this is one of my favorite cards from another deck that I've got called the Atlas Oracle card, it's break, separation, cut off. Sometimes we are cut off from things that we didn't have the knowledge or the thoughts, or we weren't privy to conversations or actions, and spirit cuts us off from them. So trust that your internal guidance and where that's leading you, and if it's leading you away from this person for the time being, listen to that. I feel like this is third eye chakra energy here. Like, you look towards your future, and maybe you feel like this person is someone within your future, and that might be as a teammate or that kind of thing, and that doesn't mean that you cut off your energy completely from them, but it's just that you don't allow them to drag you into their stuff. Like, they have got to work on those things. You can support in a kind of friend way, as friends are here, but and also it's really interesting because we've got Phoebe, Joey and Ross, and none of which have kind of connect during the show. I mean, you know, Phoebe and Joey, platonic soulmates in my opinion, and Monica and Ross, brother and sister. And it feels like at the moment that's Spirit's asking you to take a little bit of distance in that way. And maybe you're already like, yeah, I'm already doing that. Like, I already know that that's what I need to do. But I think they see you as otherworldly and someone that is completely unlike anybody that they know, and someone who has been totally honest and truthful to them and really hit home. And I think they harbour a lot of respect for you for that. And I think they just see you as someone who's almost way too good for them, is what I'm hearing from their side of it. Let's get some channeled messages as well. I'm not going to shuffle these, I'm just going to keep cutting them, because sometimes when I shuffle them it doesn't end well. Oh, okay. I love how fearless you are. Yeah, we've got this fearlessness here. Thank you for helping me as well in all the ways I think that you showed them as well. Showed them how, like, again, it's covering up all these things, like showed them the devil within them, the illusions that they were dancing to, the things, and almost burst that bubble for them, called them out on that. Your fearlessness and your determination and courage, I can feel it. I can feel how powerful you are. I speak to you when you are not here. And that might be because you guys are in separation at the moment, or maybe when they are in that spiral of really looking within themselves and asking why. They kind of want to emulate your energy, but there's that kind of conversations with people that you wish you had or wish you could have when you're in a situation like that. And I just think they don't want to drag you in, as much as there's hope that maybe, you know, they know that you would help them within a heartbeat, because that's who you are. You're a helpful and kind person, but they don't, I feel like they just don't want to reach out at the moment. My mind and heart are saying different things. And I feel like that's really it. This came up for pile 1 too, but in a different context. But it's like they don't want to be playing these games anymore. They don't want to be hiding things, hiding secrets. And it's so funny because all the cards are out, and the ones that are still showing are the Devil and the Seven of Swords. Like, they don't want to give off this illusion. They don't want to be known for this thing that they're not. They don't want to be seen as the deceptive or the person that's just going to try and get what they want. And I'm getting player energy. Maybe that's how they're seen. They don't want to be like that. They know in their heart that they're different, and they want to challenge themselves and rise above that. And I think they want and are going to do that work for themselves. And I think that helping and healing that you've provided them, even in a way that maybe you haven't been there holding their hand, even just your energy helps them speak to you. Like, it's like almost you're like a internal guidance from without it, like outside of them externally. It's like a reflection of the voice that's within, challenging them to do all of these things, and you kind of actualized it for them, spoke it back to them. I just exhaled and I just said, I'm sorry. And I'm sorry. And then I just had brick wall. Like, I'm sorry I'm a brick wall. I'm sorry that my guard was up. I'm sorry that I've cut off or I've separated. It feels like it's not that they don't want to be there. This might only be for a couple of people. It's not that they don't want to be there. It's just that they can't do it. They're not happy with themselves and the way that they've acted or treated, and that's nothing to do with you. And I think that's what they will say, is that you don't deserve any of that. You don't deserve what they've put you through. I want to end with some love affirmators for you from Spirit. So I'm going to shuffle these and see how we go. We've got rest. Spirit, what for pile 3? What advice do you have? Sorry, that was really, really raw, that message that came through. Okay. I don't feel like that's something that maybe you've heard, is that I'm sorry, but you deserve to hear it from them. Rest. I take a step away from my stress, and then a deep breath, and then a crankiness killing nap. When I get the rest I need, I instantly become a better version of myself, able to navigate complex relationships in a single bound. When I don't, I'm not, which means I shouldn't, but I try to, and then we can't, and it doesn't, but I did, so I wasn't. Good night. This feels like, to me, that that spiraling of thoughts. Don't allow your thoughts to create a prison around you in the way that they have for this person. With that rest, take non-action and silence. Take the time to listen to your internal guidance, because thoughts words, they can all scream at you in the way that this does. Do you know, before you go to bed and your brain is just like running at 1,000,000 miles per hour sometimes, and all the things that you've said, done during the day, or the conversations you wish you had with people, or just like the endless to-do list of things like run through, and you just can't sleep. It's like your mind is so awake, but your body is like, please give me rest. That's how it feels right now for me, and reading this for you. And this stress is something that you can navigate by taking that non-action and that stillness, that high priestess repose, and knowing that you have everything you could ever have, want, or need already inside of you, that invaluable guidance. And intuition whispers, and you need to try and silence your mind, try and silence yourself from this situation, all the things that have happened and done. And with this, focusing on yourself and on that power, your intuitive power, and the being the best version of yourself, only accepting the best for you and knowing who you are, that's when you can navigate the complexity, because you know what you stand for, you know your boundaries, and if something doesn't align in that moment, you step away from it. And if this person is still not aligning with that, step away from it. Protect your power, rest from the situation if the energy doesn't automatically fill you with the abundance that you deserve. We've also got surrender. Hear ye, hear ye. You are hereby called to unclench your grip on any old thought patterns that are getting in your way. Surrender any ideas that make you feel like a victim of circumstance, or which make your dream relationship seem like an impossibility. The mayor of reinvention has just arrived and has made the following decree. Limiting beliefs about yourself and your life are heretofore, forthwith, officially and undoubtedly declared for the birds. So with this surrender card, Spirit is saying, in any way that you can, try and let this go. Try and let this situation, this old thought pattern, you are not deserving of the energy of this person. You may worry about this person, you may worry about where they are at, but do not let it get in your way. Offer up this relationship of what it was, because this person is changing just as you have changed. So they're not going to be, if something does happen in the future, they're not going to be the same person. So the old thought patterns, it's time to accept the past, and once you accept it with honesty, you learn those lessons and you move forward as a more evolved individual. That's when you can start affecting the future. This imbalance that you are feeling is that illusion almost of the devil being under that spell, as it were. Not saying that that's them, but of feeling like you have to stay in it, that you have to hold out hope. And there is hope here. I'm not saying that there isn't. With this star, there is this guiding light, but you have to follow your star. And you may feel but this person is for me, I know it. They may, with the platonic soulmates, with those friends, they may be someone that comes back. You may reconcile later on down in this life, in another life. You have learnt the lesson from this person in this iteration of them, whether they change in a decade's time and you reconcile or whatever it is. But you cannot believe and do not allow them to put any blocks in your mind of what a dream relation, you are deserving of your dream relationship. It is not impossible for you. Do not limit yourself. Do not put a ceiling over yourself or take crumbs from someone. You deserve the whole cake. You deserve someone's abundant energy coming towards you, telling you exactly how reflecting to you how you should be feeling and the values that you want, and surround yourself with that energy. When you're in doubt of where it is coming from externally in terms of relationships and love in that way, look at it within your family, your chosen family, your friends, those people that make you feel that way without any question or doubt in your mind. Surrender into their arms and take rest there, because that's the energy that you want to emulate in a partner. And this person, whether they have changed or they want to change or they say I'm sorry and that kind of thing, they need to show you, but also the energy has to be right. And they may be raw through you know, me channeling a message or spirit channeling a message or you feeling intuitively guided in that way. But until they make you feel that and make you feel that energetically, don't allow that to be surrender the relationship for what it was and the lesson that it was, and move forward in that way, because you're not a victim of circumstance. Things haven't happened to you, they're happening for you. This has happened for you to realize how powerful, how brilliant you are, how you shouldn't settle. You shouldn't settle for anything. Have integrity in that, and you deserve more. You deserve more than the energy that they gave you. So, my glorious friend of pile 3, thank you so much for taking the time to watch. I'm going to leave this reading here for you guys today. I really hope it resonated. I hope the advice was useful. I'm sorry about the home truths at the end, but that's just how Spirit wanted me to say it. But it's all said with love, and I think you are amazing and powerful and truly beautiful. So thank you so much for taking the time to watch. If you'd like to see me again, please do hit that subscribe button. I'd love to see you there. Until next time, sending so much love to each and every one of you. Bye. Hello, my lovely friends of pile 4. So if you picked the Oriens Tarot deck and the Moss Agate Moon, then this reading is going to be for you. So I've already shuffled your oracle cards. I'm going to pop them to the side just over there, and we will start shuffling for your reading. So whilst I'm shuffling, like I said in the intro, please do keep that person in your mind for their unsaid feelings. So one more shuffle, I feel, and then we will get right into it. Just separate that there, and we're ready to go. Awesome. So for pile 4, Spirit, what are their person's unsaid feelings for pile 4? So we've got the 3 of Swords. We have got the 6 of Swords. Unsaid feelings. We've got the Hermit in reverse. We've got the King of Wands. We have got the 5 of Cups. And we have also got the Chariot. I'm just going to swap those over. Just over here. Okay. Perfect. And then in terms of oracle cards, we have Sacred Union, honor and treasure your relationship, for it is truly sacred. We have got 3rd chakra, Archangel Kymel. We have also got Rhodonite, gratefulness, self-confidence, support, and the affirmation is, I find confidence in myself when I listen to my heart. It's related to the heart chakra. I'll go more into that card as well, more in depth. We've got hunger, and we've also got strength there too. So firstly, what I'm seeing is in terms of signs, we've got Leo, Sagittarius or Aries in a really clear cut way. We've also got some swords energy, so potentially Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, and then this is also Taurus energy within this Rhodonite. So you may have those in your chart, your person might have those in their chart. If not, do not worry, it just might be a nice confirmation if you do. So where I want to start with this is your person may have not shown you everything and all the pain that they have gone through and all the sorrow and the hurt, but sometimes it is still very, very real for them. Even though they've combated a lot of those things, and with this 3rd chakra, with this Archangel here, it's based at the solar plexus, and it's all to do with about opening up your desires and finding your personal energy and your emotions of desire from them and the enthusiasm to move forward. And I do feel like there is a direct energy, this approach, this soul's calling to keep going for it, to keep moving forward despite all the pain. And this person, I feel like, comes off as a very strong person with this King of Wands, maybe a very dynamic person who, you know, is a great instigator of change and maybe has come through a lot of changes within their life. With this like lion here, I'm hearing Simba, which comes up a lot whenever a lion comes up for me, I'm aware, in these readings. But with this like Lion King energy of like, has really had to grown up quickly, and maybe that's when it comes to love, but is like very loyal, is a protector, will protect like other people's spirit and their own. And I think they have this boundless energy of self-transformation and self-confidence, which was not always there. And no matter how far they move into that direction and into that strength, they sometimes want to crumble with where they've come from. I feel like they are quite an intuitive person. They know themselves a lot, and they're grateful for everything that got them here and all the support that got them to the place that they are now. But there are still those scars, those very scar with Lion King, do you know what I mean? Those scars, those fears and anxieties, and I didn't even mean that in a purposeful way. There's still that darkness, those, even if they feel like they've got their inner critic under control, or they've got those enemies to their power, they still feel like, are they really gone? And do you know, with the end with Scar, you know, coming back sort of thing, like feeling like it's not over. There's that, have I turned my back, but is it still there? I feel like I've got rid of it, but is it still haunts them, is what I want to say. And that doesn't mean that they're not over a situation or a person that they've come from, or the pain. Like, any sort of grief and pain is a scale, it's a sliding scale. And we never truly, when it becomes a scar on our body, we never get over that experience. We just don't let it rule us moving forward. And this person has moved on from the experience, has let go, but that scar is still there. And sometimes if behavior is displayed to them, which maybe makes them go back into that shell, they might lose sense of that and lose sense of themselves and the person that they've created, because you have made them open up in a new way and see things in such a different light that they've never been allowed to before. Like, it feels like that door's closed for them, and you are that window of opportunity that's guided them towards clearer waters and safer waters. And it feels like they know that this is a sacred place, this is a safe and sacred home for them, and they have their own home, their own body, their sacred space within, where they ask those questions, and they divine spiritual guidance from. But you enter that place in a way that they've never had anybody, that understanding. And I think you give them so much strength, and in a way that maybe you don't even know, like you ground them. And I think they're so, so grateful for your energy, more than you could ever know. Like the pain that they've gone through, the affliction of words from other people or their own as well, like the heartbreak, the betrayal. They may not have even given you a glimpse of the depth of how that goes. And sometimes they still ask those questions of why did I have to go through that? And I think this union shows them that they're not defined by their past. They're not defined what other people put onto them, the thoughts or the words. They're defined by how they got up and how they moved forward. And sometimes obstacles and barriers are put in our way for beautiful diversions to bring us to where we're supposed to be. And I think that's how they feel, that they are where they are needing to be. And they feel so much power and energy and self-transformation and confidence, like I said. And I think they are so loyal to this energy and so thankful for it. And probably it's their light when they feel that the darkness is starting to encroach again. So maybe there's moments where this person goes suddenly cold or becomes super full of anxiety and fear. And that might just be because of previous lessons that they've had to go through, pain, those scars that is this reaffirming what I've felt before. And then they're able to draw themselves back to their energy and realize that their intuition is not lying to them, that it's okay, that this is sacred, that this is a safe space. But sometimes their inner critic or their fears and anxieties might come on top of them and almost stab them in the back in a way, even though they know it's not there. It's that illusion of, is this person going to do the same thing to me? And they really need to find that quiet space, and sometimes they might find it hard to tap into that when they're in that spiral. But whether they've shown it to you or not, they are releasing those emotions as much as they can back. It's like crickets, like the crickets in the background. Like, it's the unsaid thing maybe that maybe you understand and you support, but they can't thank you enough for noticing it and maybe holding them through it, is what I'm hearing. With this rhodonite as well, we've got this is the positive. And even though all of that stuff, that's who they are and that's who they were. Like, that's what made them to this moment now and like to this powerful person. And like I said, maybe you don't know the full extent of it, but you are such a pillar for them with this strength card. And I think they have a hunger to be around your energy because it fuels them with the joy and the passion and the energy of their desires that they've always wanted. It feels like it resonates, it rings on a different level. And all of the blocks they want to move past with this Chariot card, like, you exceed the ceiling that they ever had for love, for whatever it was supposed to be, and they truly like value and honor this connection where it is. And even if sometimes they get pulled askance, or they get a block in the road or something, like their mind goes wild for a moment, you are able to bring them back and claw them back. And they trust this path with every fiber of their being, and they just see the heights that it can go to. And I think when they are in flow, there is nothing that can stop them. Their willpower, their determination, everything in being there with you, being there in it with you. And I think they're just, so grateful, and you just bring them so much confidence and support, something which maybe they haven't received from other people before. And you're like their universe has their back in human form, and speak to them in a different way, and maybe unblocks a lot within their heart chakra as well, like that, connecting to that side of themselves, and they're actually able to listen to their heart and find confidence in what they want love to be. And I think, like I said, it exceeds their expectations, and they're able to like shatter that glass ceiling and keep going into new galaxies and new ethers and new galaxy. I said galaxies already. Milky Way is a galaxy, it's also in the celebrations. It's just, they're able to just fully be like, I can go anywhere, I can be anything, I can do anything with this person by my side. They just lift me up to a new level. And it feels like you ignite their truest passion. And I love this. So rhodonite is a stone of compassion and helps balance our emotions while healing scars of the past. And obviously the scars have been very, very real for them in the past, and you're able to help balance them out in a way that you may never know, and fulfill that hunger within them, the hunger of wanting something that fit their energy and that allowed them to learn this lesson and to balance and to feel like themselves. And it also helps support the heart chakra. It reminds us of our soul's purpose, passion, life experience, balance. And so I feel like this person can't even begin to write a letter to say how thankful they are, and their unsaid feelings are, there's an expanse of them. But I think, thank you for understanding when no one else would. Thank you for being an anchor during those those moments where they don't feel like themselves, or they feel like they're thrown straight back into an energy. Thank you for giving them something to strive for and hunger for in the right way, in an energy that fills them up and feels like it's ever flowing, and they never want to let go of that with that hunger card there. Thank you for opening up their passions and their love in a new way, and thank you for helping them feel strong and supported. Yeah, they treasure you so much, and yeah, they don't, I think, in all the why questions of why this had to happen to them in the past that they might have had about past situations, they have no question as to why you're in their life. Maybe there's some moments where they're like, what did I do to deserve this energy? But I think there's no why in the energy. They don't have to ask questions. They just know. They know that this is right. They feel it within their intuitive body, within every fibre of their being, and like, you help them dream big and large in a way that they haven't for a long, long time, I think. Yeah, it's so gorgeous. I love this energy. So let's get some channeled messages. And yeah, I think they just think you are as well, this like absolute light that beams them up too, with this King of Wands. Like, that's what they aspire to be, but I think you are just this grounded, support, loyal, like this, I'm hearing like mask figure, like this active figure, like stable father figure, but like not in that way, in terms of like that, I suppose, kind of King of Pentacles and King of Wands energy, like that provider energy, that person that is going to help everyone along the road, and always is looking, has that keen eye, is like watching the pack, as it were. Again, another like Lion King thing, like, you know, is a leader and helps lead them towards the energy of love that they didn't know that they deserved, but craved and wanted in a way, and they almost didn't realize I'm hearing like didn't realize how lost they were until they found you, which is from Like a Virgin, Madonna, but also in Moulin Rouge the movie, so that might resonate with this pile, like come what may as well. I love that. And one day I'll fly away from the energy that they're in, and okay, Moulin Rouge, yeah. I feel it. When can I see you again? I think, I think they just hunger for that connection, the way that you make, like, I'm hearing you make me feel mighty real. Okay, this is a music soundtrack love thing going on here. I don't know if you guys share a Spotify playlist or like an Apple playlist or something, or listen to like music, like everyone listens to me. Well, not everybody listens to music, but like has like a particular car mix, or like made mixtapes for each other, or like send each other songs that make them think of you. But there's just this energy that I'm getting of like like sweethearts, like old school, like speaking through songs and like hearing each other and seeing each other in things, like in Moulin Rouge, or different like contexts and literature and stuff like that. Like it's inescapable. And yeah, when can I see you again? I think they just love your energy and the light that you are, the light of positivity, and the way that they feel around you. I can't get you out of my head. Again, a Kylie Minogue song. We've got another song, but like, again, just I'm hearing like are like another world to them, are something otherworldly, something that they haven't experienced, and yeah, they can't get how giving you are and how loving you are out of their head. I'm drawn to you. Yeah, we know this. There's that hunger, like a moth to a flame. You burn so brightly. I wouldn't say that you're a moth in any way, or they're a moth, but like they just, your abundance, your energy just lifts them up in a different way. I Want to Hold Your Hand, again, a Beatles song. Okay, we've got so many songs. I absolutely love it. Beatles, absolutely love them as well. But yeah, I just, It's so cheesy and I love it, and I think they just feel like an absolute fool in love, but in the best way. Like, they wouldn't want it any other way, but I think they just feel so giddy and so joyful. I've got the biggest smile on my face right now too, but yeah, I want to hold your hand. It's so beautiful. It's one of my all-time faves, one of my favorite songs. I want to get some affirmators for you now, some love advice for you. So let's go. Spirit, for pile 4, what do you want to say to them? Okay. Tact. I speak and act with care, remembering the impulsive words or a harsh tone can sometimes hurt others. If it feels like I'm walking on eggshells, I'll remind myself that those eggshells might actually be a shop full of china, and I might actually be a bull. Then I'll remind myself to stop mixing metaphors. Okay, so we've spoken a lot about this person's past hurt and their past pain, and why they might act in certain ways, might go cold, or might retreat into themselves or not act like themselves in some way, pull back, and like, you need to be you and be true to yourself and say what it is that you need and what you want and be within your power. But with this tact, we can have compassion for, you don't need to know the whole context, or maybe they will open up to you in that way. You don't need to change your behavior drastically, but you are aware of those scars, and words have power, and actions have power too. And the energy of the situation, words, fears, and anxieties, actions, they can all lie, energy doesn't. And so they know this person knows that, like, energy doesn't lie, and they know the energy of who you are. And, you know, but maybe sometimes with this tact, like, remember that, and for them as well, remember that everybody has a story, everybody has gone through something, and maybe you don't know if you're feeding into something from their past, an old pattern or an old wound, but be mindful of that. Be mindful that, like you have, everybody has gone through those things, and there's undeniable love here and like sacred union here as well. Like, there is obviously a true and respected relationship, and it's not that I have no doubt you respect this person and where they've been, but with this bull in a china shop, sometimes just maybe if there's moments where you want to be like, why are you doing this? Like, if they go into their shell or something like that, remember to draw yourself back and be like, okay, maybe it's because of this, and I hope that they have the same compassion and consideration for you too. We've also got perspective, which I feel like kind of lends hand in hand with this perspective, like trying to take that perspective of the situation, like, okay, they're doing this, I get it. Okay, I'm pile 4. I can see it from a different perspective. I can try and see it and walk a mile in their shoes. I can try and do that in the same way that you would hope they would too. What does a hawk see when it flies over your house, besides the family of mice living nearby that you don't know about? What will your current problems, conflicts, complaints look like when you're 80 years old and you gaze back on the timeline of your life? In this moment, you are being given the gift of clear perspective, of knowing that in the end, everything is going to be probably much better than okay. Think large enough and even big issues become small. Become an 80-year-old hawk and you're really onto something. Like, I've got old school sweethearts, obviously, with this Beatles and all these songs and this mixtape that's going around. I'm hearing, like, do you know, the boom box as well, like outside a bedroom window. And this connection has come for a reason, and maybe it will be for the next 80 years. Maybe you'll be 80 or they'll be 80, and you know, things will still be going strong, or maybe it's just for a short amount of time, 80 months, 80 days, whatever it is. But this union has come about for a reason, and maybe the small things, the things that seem small, maybe the big things at the moment that might feel like they're drawing a wedge, or sometimes there's things that you have to move around, communication, maybe geography for some people as well. Maybe geographically it's quite a hard thing, or logistics, and when can I see you again, maybe there's this timing element in there as well. But I think when that perspective card has come about for looking at it from a different angle, from a different height, and when you gaze back on everything, even in just a week's time, in a month's time, is the big thing right now, is it going to feel small and insignificant? Like, read the energy of the situation. Is it something small that's been made big because of something else? Is it because it's a fear or anxiety or an old wound from you or them? Like, can we get into each other's shoes and try and see it from a different way? But do you want to be holding on to the one thing now when you're 80 as at 2? Like, if you were to be in this relationship until you were 80, could you imagine like this one small thing that, or this big conflict or thing that feels massive at the moment, will it feel like that in the huge timeline? So yeah, that's what I want to say there. So my glorious friends of pile 4, I'm going to leave that reading there for you guys today. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. I really hope it resonated with you. I'm sending love to each and every one of you. If you'd like to see me again, I'd love to see you there. Please do hit that subscribe button. Until next time, sending all the love. Bye.